All right, today we are diving into a really fascinating and, frankly, pretty provocative argument about the future of all of us. It's a vision that tries to get to the very heart of human nature to figure out how we can finally end the conflicts that have, basically defined our entire history. So let's get right into it. So, the whole human story, according to this author, really boils down to one giant contradiction. It's this paradox that's just sitting right at the core of who we are as a species. And here it is, spelled out for us. I mean, just think about it. On one side, we have this incredible, almost limitless ability to create and to learn. We build amazing civilizations. We've even started exploring the cosmos. But then, on the other side, our history is just this relentless, brutal story of war and division. So the big question is, how can both of these things be true about us at the exact same time? Well, the source of all our greatness, our nobility, is said to come from something the author calls the human thinking function. Now, this isn't just about being smart. It's way more specific. It's our unique biological wiring that lets us develop knowledge and then actually apply it to build things in the real world. That ability, right there, is what's supposed to set us apart from everything else. Okay, but here's the big twist. The very same thing, this thinking function that makes us so great, is also the source of all our self-destructive behavior. It's the ultimate double-edged sword. Our greatest gift is also our greatest curse. To really get this, we've got to break our thinking down into three parts. The first one is what's called the function of belief. You can think of this as our built-in curiosity, right? It's that biological drive that makes us explore and ask those huge questions, like what's our place in the universe, or is there a creator? Then, working right alongside that is the function of logic. This is our rational side. It's our brain's ability to look at facts, analyze them, make deductions, and build up all of our scientific and logical understanding of the world. And the third piece of this puzzle is the function of conscience. This one's absolutely crucial. It's the glue that holds us together, the part of us that lets us cooperate and build these incredibly complex, harmonious societies. So you've got belief, logic, and conscience, and in a perfect world, they all work together. Or, they're supposed to. And that is the key. The problem isn't belief or logic or conscience on their own. The real danger, the author argues, is when we let one of them, specifically our function of belief, just run wild, completely unchecked by our logic or our conscience. And we see this play out all the time in the real world, don't we? It happens through what the author calls belief-related works. That's all the stuff on this list. Political ideologies, religious theories, even national identities. The idea here isn't that these things are automatically bad, but that when we grab onto them blindly and treat them like absolute truths, they stop being tools for understanding and become weapons for division. And the result of that is, well, it's as tragic as it is predictable. We cling to our group, our ideology, and we start labeling anyone who thinks differently as the enemy. And this, right here, becomes the justification for what the source calls the merciless slaughter that has just stained our entire history. So this has been our pattern for thousands of years. But why is it suddenly an existential crisis? Why is it a ticking time bomb right now? Well, because while the behavior is ancient, the stakes have never, ever been this high. The warning here is incredibly stark. This cycle of conflict that we're stuck in, it's just not sustainable anymore. With the technology we have today, this pattern is pushing us past the possibility of destroying ourselves and toward what starts to look like an inevitability. So why is the threat level completely off the charts now? It's basically a perfect storm of three things. First, you've got more groups than ever creating competing ideologies, all fighting for power. Second, within those groups, the people who rise to the top are often the so-called warriors, the ones who are best at creating an us versus them mentality. And third, the real game changer, these groups now have access to weapons that can wipe out everything. So, wow, that is a pretty terrifying diagnosis. But the author doesn't just leave us there. There is a proposed cure, a potential way out of this mess, and it's called the Great Transformation. This path forward is laid out in four pretty massive steps. First off, everyone, all of humanity, has to understand our own magnificence, to really get the power of that shared thinking function we all have. Then, step two, we use that understanding to see each other as equals again, to look past all the divisions we've created. Step three is a big one. Groups have to consciously stop churning out these divisive beliefs just to gain power. And finally, we have to rebuild society from the ground up on a foundation that actually understands and respects our true nature. And what's the payoff for all this? What's the goal? Well, it's nothing short of a brand new era for humankind, one that's defined by real harmony between people, lasting peace between our groups, and an explosion of knowledge and prosperity that we can't even imagine right now. And that's where this leaves us, with this one enormous question. We've just walked through this deep analysis of our past and a pretty incredible vision for our future. But the whole thing, every bit of it, hinges on whether we, you and me, all of us, can actually pull off such a massive shift in how we see ourselves in the world. Is it possible? That's really the challenge to think about.